am just waiting a few minutes for people to hop on. I have all my questions here that I wrote from last week. So I'm hoping this works. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. It's Monday already. We kind of had a busy weekend. Saturday, I had a bridal shower, and then Matt's parents showed up without, unexpected. We didn't know they were coming, which was so fun. We were so surprised. It was so funny because Matt was in the back, like the porch or the kitchen area, and I was back near the bedrooms, and Matt said, "Grandpa's here." And my initial reaction was, my dad's here, because Matt's parents don't live where we live. And so my dad in a nursing home, but that was just like my, it was just weird. It was just like, what? And then I said, what? And then he said, my dad is coming up the deck. So that was super exciting. But I had just gotten back from the bridal shower, so it was perfect timing. So, and then, yesterday we went to visit my dad at the nursing home. Anyway, so it was a good weekend. But then yesterday we were like, it's already Sunday night. The weekends just go too fast. So, I hope you guys had a good weekend. My dad's birthday is actually today, 72, way too young to be in a nursing home and going through all this, right? So, okay. So I'm hoping this is a conversation. So, I don't want it to just be me talking at you or whatever. So please ask me questions or just chit chat with me or whatever. So, that's what I'm really hoping this will be, because I chat at you in stories and reels and all those things. So this is a fun way for us to just literally sit down and, I don't drink coffee, but I already had my tea, but, drink a cup of coffee and just sit here and chit chat. So, if this goes well and you guys like this, I'm open to doing this on Monday morning. So maybe we will do it. And if we need to change the time, we can do that too. But, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask or go through some of these questions that I had you guys just put in that question box last week. And so then I just thought we could start there. And then if you want me to elaborate or you come up with another question, one of the questions, I love this question. Can you stain something darker without sanding? I love that you're having coffee. Next time I need to bring my tea. I get up early. I am an early riser. Anybody else here an early riser? And I'm usually in bed early, but I feel like I've been staying up later and later, and I don't know why, but I am up early. My alarm goes off at 4:30. So by 8 o'clock, which it is right now here, I've got a lot done already. So I am an early riser. So can you stain something darker without sanding? So this is a great question. And, yes and no. So it depends on what your project is. So for me, I have done this many times. If you think of like a piece of furniture, for instance, that has, legs, any kind of legs. Sometimes, I'm picking up furniture that is not in pristine condition by any means, and I'm giving it a makeover. And sometimes I like to do like a painted stain mix. So maybe I paint the drawers or I paint the body and then I stain the legs. And sometimes, depending on how detailed and how many, do you know what I'm saying? Like how the legs are carved out. Sometimes it's hard to get into those little nooks and crannies, right? There are different tools that you can use and that I use, but sometimes it's just not perfect. And so I definitely sand, but sometimes I'm not sanding down to raw wood, if that makes sense. And then I will stain over that. Does that make sense? But just a piece I just finished last week that I absolutely love. It really turned out really good. I'll be sharing that soon once I get it all finished. But, I wanted to first try and stain it and just see if I could do that. So I did sand it all the way down. And for me, I understand like this question, can you stain something darker without sanding? Sanding is not fun. If you're painting kitchen cabinets, if you're, doing a piece of furniture, I get it. The sanding, you'd wish you could just, not do it. But if you really want a stained finish on something like where I did this entire dresser that way, you should sand it all the way down. But the legs, something like legs or something, you can kind of get away with maybe not sanding it all the way down to bare wood. Does that make sense? And, every project, I'm trying to move this without, you guys should see how I have you hooked up here. Every project's going to be different. So, and every piece will take it just fine or sand just great, and some won't. So that's why I say yes and no. It just depends on what the project is. And you didn't say what the project was, so I'm not for certain. Okay. How do you balance creating content for your website, Instagram, YouTube, and everything else without losing your mind? I do lose my mind. No. You do definitely get in a routine. So there are things posted on all of these things at different times, different days. So you definitely get in a routine, just like if you were at a regular, whatever job you have, obviously you've got things that you have to do all the time. Creating content is different, right? Because it's constantly new, if that makes sense. But if you are somebody that wants to do this, let me know right here, because you should do it smartly as well. So it's not like you're creating new content all the time. It's not like you have to create new content all the time. There are ways that you can reuse content. And I definitely do that. So it's just staying organized and just kind of having a list of what you're going to do that week. And yeah, so I'm telling you, especially, that's why I always tell you guys, if you go to my website, mycreativedays.com, there's not an algorithm. Does that make sense? So social media, all of that, even Pinterest, it's so hard because you're constantly having to work with, battle, jump through hoops, whatever it is, because there's an algorithm all the time. So on any social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anything that you don't own. Does that make sense? Because they can change it and they can show your content to anybody. So whereas my newsletter, so when I share that in stories, the link, my newsletter and my website, those are things I own. So there's no algorithm. If you sign up for it or go there, you're going to get it. Does that make sense? So that's why, if you are wanting, I'm thinking this might be somebody that's wanting to create content or maybe has started and you are losing your mind. Definitely those are two areas that you should, a newsletter at least, really pay attention to. And another thing I'll say, if this is somebody that wants to start doing this, just start with one social media. Do not try to do all of them by any means. Do not try to do all of them at once because you will definitely lose your mind. Okay, so this must be somebody new, but how did My Creative Days even get started? So this was way back, I think it's been 13 or 15 years, which is crazy to me. But way back in the day, I was just sharing with family and friends projects and things we were doing here in this house. People would come over, friends would come over, family would come over, whatever. And then I would share my thrifted finds, or they'd say, where'd you find that? And then it's like, I got it at a thrift store or a yard sale and I just did this to it. And they were like, oh my gosh. And so more and more people were like, you have to get your ideas out there. And so that's how it started. I just started the website because I thought my mom and my friends and family then could see the projects that we were doing. And so that's literally how it started. Just, I was trying to, get my ideas out there. I was like, what? And back in the day, Facebook was a thing. Instagram was just a thing. And I still to this day do not have any personal accounts on any of those. If I didn't do this, I would not be on social media pretty much. So I didn't have any of those. So I was like not posting on Facebook. I was not posting on Instagram. And then it just kind of, things just happened with the website. And then it's like, wait, maybe I should have a social media presence for it, blah, blah, blah. And so then that's how it got to be where it is now. So that's how that started. What's your favorite thing to thrift right now? And what do you always leave behind? This was kind of a question that I had before. I don't know until I see it, So my favorite thing to thrift or at a yard sale or something is that thing where I just see it and I know it's going to usually always be something vintage, antique, older. And what do I always leave behind? A lot, especially nowadays, I leave a lot behind because I'm just really picky. Even I just went to a church sale and I had a couple of peg racks that accordion peg racks. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need another one. So I left that. There was an old wood box that I left. So it's just, I can't pinpoint one thing. Maybe a different day I would have picked up that peg rack and that box and came home with it. But definitely vintage, that kind of stuff. Vintage Christmas, I will always pick up. But, and what do I always leave behind? It just depends. It just depends. I wish I could tell you a yes or no. Like always get there are things I can tell you to always get, but it's different every time. You go into a thrift store and you're finding different stuff all the time, or a yard sale. This table is really, really heavy. So, okay, that's a little bit better. Okay. What's the best thrift yard sale find you've ever found? This is hard. I wish I could turn the camera around and show you all the stuff here, just in this room down here. Literally, besides this, the couch behind me and that sign that somebody made for me. Other than that, I don't think there's anything in this room that I haven't thrifted or got at a yard sale. The TV, that kind of stuff. But again, this is something well, here's one thing. So if you guys saw, if you were on YouTube, if you were over on my YouTube channel, I found this. It was a crazy story. This yard sale find. There was a Louis Vuitton, I don't know, like duffel travel bag, and then this older lady that had it, she then waved me down and she gave me the matching little, I want to say it's like a cosmetic bag, if you know what I mean, but traveling, but it's a little bit bigger. So I have those two things, and I'm going to meet with a friend this week that should be able to tell me if that stuff is real or not. That would probably top anything I've ever found. But just yesterday, my mom was here and we were talking about something I had up on the coffee table. And she's like, those are just so cool. She has said that every time she has come. And I have found them before. And I am somebody that when I rotate and I purge a lot here. So I'm constantly organizing. I'm constantly decorating. I'm constantly moving things around. And I constantly get rid of stuff. So there are only a handful of things in our home that I would never get rid of. But yet I'm not always attached to everything either. And I am not somebody that's going to just buy stuff to store it ever. Like I do not need, we don't have a ton of storage in our home, but I do not want to just be buying stuff to buy stuff, especially now when the kids are older. Back in the day, I would save their clothes or I would buy ahead and then maybe, stockpile some clothes and stuff for them. But like, since the kids are older, I don't want a bunch of stuff just to have a bunch of stuff. So yes. So, the Tiffany ring I just found too, that was pretty amazing for 25 cents or 75 cents. It was under $1. So that was pretty amazing too. Especially here in Iowa, you're not finding that stuff really. So those are some recent finds that I really, really love. What's one project you wish you never started? Right now, I guess I would say, like, we have one more room to paint here. We're trying to do some projects around the house. And today I was looking at the room and I'm like, you think it's just easy, a couple of flat walls, but it's not. And so it's like, it'll go fast. It'll be done quickly. But what's one project I wish I had never started? To be completely honest, since it's just a few of us here on live, Matt and I found a house that we like, and we've been going back and forth for a couple of weeks, kind of deciding on some things about that. And it's just been a constant on my mind and just going back and forth and, just getting projects done here if we were to ever move and, talking to tax people and bank and just all that stuff, which is all good. We should know this anyway, because we have been looking for the past couple of years, but we have never found a house that we both got in the car and we were both like, okay, wait a minute, I think I could see ourselves here. And then you have opinions from other people that you've went through the house with, because we went through it a few times. And so anyway, so I mean, it's exciting. It's fun. We have not written an offer or anything, but it's this thing on the back of my mind that it's like, we just need to figure out what we're doing. So maybe that's one project right now I wish I could take off my plate, which is not even a project, but it's something that's going on in the background that I don't really talk about on stories or anything. So what's something your audience doesn't know about you? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm an open book. Ask me questions. What do you want to know? I'm sure there's tons you don't know about me. I mean, you see a glimpse of, a story here, you know what I mean? A project here. But I feel like I do share a lot. There's a lot about my kids that I know some of their friends watch some of this. So like the bridal shower that we went to, it's one of Gabrielle's friends, and Gabrielle has been working on this. If you're new here, some of you know this, but Gabrielle, her art and she's just super creative and she's so good. But she wanted to gift her a cookbook. So she reached out to her family, the bride's family, friends, just all these people to send her family recipes that they have. And so she was doing like art and writing out all of these recipes in this massive book. Unbelievable. It took her forever. I mean, it was a lot of work. But there's like, I would love to share that, but like, I know I couldn't share it here because it was so amazing. And she just put all these recipes together and then left some empty pages so that the bride and the husband, when they get together, if they find recipes, it was just such a cool, thoughtful gift. So there's a lot of things probably about my kids that you don't know. I share little glimpses here and there, but they don't want to be on camera. They don't, they really don't. So there's probably, I mean, I'd be more than welcome to ask me questions about them and I'd answer them. I've never had my ears pierced. That's something you may not know. I've never wanted my ears pierced. I would never get my ears pierced. So maybe that's something you don't know about me. But if there's something else you want to know, please ask, because I am an open book. What do you get asked about in DMs all the time? So probably about, I would say it's either a link for something that I share or often share. It's the Furniture Flipping Academy, or probably like a project question. That would probably be a lot about in the DMs, mostly in the DMs, what I get asked about. Okay, that's those. Okay. What project in your home has been, small or big, has been the biggest headache so far? I think I've shared this before. Wallpapering. I don't know if we will ever do that again. My mom used to do this for people. And we just did Gabrielle's top half, not even half, I would say top quarter of her wall. We did like a wood border type of thing back in the day. And then the top half we did in wallpaper. That is one thing that Matt's usually great about, all the project ideas I come up with in our house or in a flip house. He's usually great. Sometimes we have to talk about it because, I'm always thinking, oh, it'll get done by tomorrow. Like, it will stay in the time frame we have, so sometimes he has to, pull me back that way. But that is one thing, if I ever talk about wallpaper, he's not happy about it at all. So that's probably one thing that I don't know if I shouldn't say we would never do that again. We'd probably hire it out. That's what I'll say. How do you keep track? So I'm wondering if I can't remember because this was last week. How do you keep track of all your links, favorite products, and things you share all the time? So I'm wondering if this is the same person that asked about creating content. So here on Instagram, we'll just talk about Instagram because that's where we are. There are highlight bubbles on my page. So if you go to those, or if you're creating a page, create highlight bubbles, and then you can kind of keep those in there. So somebody coming to your page can, I can't remember what mine's called, if it's called DIY favorites or favorite tools or favorite whatever, I kind of keep them in there. So that's a great place that people can go and look for them. Otherwise, what you can do is I do have, depending on what the link is, I do have a notes, your notes app. I do have some in there. And then also on Instagram, you can set up a reply for DMs where it's just one word you type in. So let's just say it's paint people are asking about. So if you type in paint, it will do the whole link for them. Does that make sense? So you can set that up in Instagram as well. So I hope that's helpful. If it's not, and if I'm not answering any of these questions right, or you're like, wait, no, that's not what I meant, please let me know. Okay. What is one thing people assume about content creation that isn't actually true? And I would say the biggest thing is that people think as soon as you create content or do this, you're just going to make a ton of money. So that's not true at all. And it says, what's one thing people always assume? I'm going to say that. That's the one thing that I think people always assume. What are your go-to products, paint colors, supplies that you use over and over again? So again, that is all things that are going to be in that highlight bubble. And it's things, here's the thing. I don't know if I should get into all that, if that's what you're asking. If I love a product, a supply, a whatever, I'm going to use it over and over and over again. And you're going to see it over and over and over again because I love that product. It works. It makes things easier. Whatever it is, it may not even be for a project. It could be like my eye massager that I absolutely love. It could be that, right? So it's something that I have found that has really made something easier, made whatever that I really, really love. So you're going to see it over and over and over again. So those are you're going to see them on here. You're going to see them in that highlight bubble. You're going to see them on my website all the time, on the YouTube channel. You're going to see those over and over again. So those are the things that you're seeing all the time. Those are my go-tos. I share it all the time. And right now it's the Dixie Belle Silk paint. That's the all-in-one paint. It's got the primer paint and top coat in one. That is what I will grab first and foremost when I want to paint a piece of furniture. The salve that I share all the time, we use that in our cars. I use that on wood projects, metal projects, all the things. You can use it on your stainless steel appliances. I mean, it's just, these products are things that I will always have on hand because I grab them all the time. I use them for different things. The Restore Finish will never not have that stuff in my house. There's certain paintbrushes and those kinds of things. And it's literally the things that I am loving, it's in my orders all the time, that I'm sharing all the time. So those are the supplies that you see constantly. And if you have a specific one, just message me after this and I can get it to you. And I've tried a lot over these years. So if there's something you're thinking about, I often thought that it would be super fun to do that. I have a list in Amazon of just things that I've run across or I've seen that I just need to buy these and then share it and just see if it's even worth it. I've always thought that would be like a fun little, what I want to say, series or something. Bought it, tried it, and this is what I think about it. Because that's how I learn about things. People that I follow, people that I trust, that are actually using these things over and over again, that's when I'm gonna buy it and want to try it. So, what kind of content do you love sharing the most? DIY, thrifting, home projects, recipes, or more personal life stuff? Yes, to all that. There's different seasons and different times. I love sharing our flip houses. It's so much fun because I love the process. Do not get me wrong. It is not that it's not stressful, not that it's not hard. I just love the entire process. So I love sharing that. But we don't have those all the time, right? DIY projects, I love those. Thrifting, yard selling, my hauls, those are all of these things that you listed here are all things that I love to do or are about the content that I share. So all of them. But that's a good question that I need to ask you guys. What are your favorite things that you like to see? The personal life stuff, sometimes that's hard for me because there's other people involved. So, you know, I have shared a lot about like my dad and, you know, the way, you know, he's in a nursing home, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with that I can't say because there's other people involved, if that makes sense. And so then I have a hard time. Sometimes I have found, and this is recently, and I would say it's probably over the last year, and you've probably noticed it, because then I have a hard time sharing anything because I am such an open book, and I'm just going to say it like it is. And so it's really hard for me. Sometimes even for my kids, like when they're doing something great, or, you know, Landon, when some of the stuff that he's doing, I don't want to, like, you're super excited about it, but there's certain things I don't want to say because of where he is, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to blast, do you know what I'm saying? Certain things, if that makes sense. So then it's hard for me because I want to share it all. And then it's hard to, like, you know, you try to get a picture where you're not showing everything, or you're not, you know, giving out an address and where he spends most of his time. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yet this is really exciting, and this is really what we're doing right now. Same with Gabrielle, you know, some of the things she's doing. So it's just, so the personal stuff, I want to share so much more. And even Matt, I'm always like, Matt, get on the camera with me. Whenever he does, and like the YouTube videos, in the Instagram, I'm like, just get on it. But he's not that way. He's super shy. He's super, quiet. But anyway, so it's really hard to share the personal stuff, and I'm pretty boring. So, I just wish I could be more, not even open, but just more, you know, I could share more, if that makes sense. If there weren't other people that were involved. So that's that. So I love sharing it all. It's so much fun. And I did just get something. I got some Meta glasses. So people have been wanting me to take them more into the thrift stores and into yard sales. And for me, if you are here and you go to thrift stores or yard sales, more yard sales though, because that's what we're in right now. And because yard sales are like 2 days, right? Like you have to be there when they open. But I get a little overwhelmed. I shared a story or a reel or something where I walked up to a yard sale and I was like, I'm going to film this. And I feel like back in the day, I did it a lot more. Since the pandemic, things are different. I don't know what it is. But anyway, actually, I wanted to share something about that with you here soon. Anyway. So once I get up there and I see it's amazing, then it's like I cannot film because I have to stay focused and I have to grab all the things, if that makes sense. And I really get like, if you know, you know, and I have been to so many amazing yard sales here this year so far that I have to put my phone away and I just have to grab because I'm there by myself. And so I don't want anybody else to get it before I get there. So somebody was like, you need to get the Meta glasses. And then was that on Facebook? I can't even remember. But then I'm like, oh my gosh, I should get those. And so Matt, since that day, some other people mentioned something and said some other ideas. And Matt's like, you need to get those. We're getting those. And so I waited and waited. And so I don't have them yet. But I'm hoping that will be an easy way to just take you with me when I'm doing that. So you can kind of see. You could probably see how chaotic I am. And I'm like trying to scan everything, you know, before you just start grabbing and just focus on one table or whatever. But so we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I am not tech savvy at all. And so this could be a total nightmare and just add more stress. And I'll say, we're taking them back. I don't want them. But we'll see. Okay. So this is coming up soon, but since I've got, I just want, who's here? Who's here? I feel like the lives here on Instagram are so different than they used to be. And I went live on YouTube last week and the way you have to have your phone is all different. So can somebody say something to me, ask a question, just say something so I can see that people are here? But the whole thing with the yard sales, so like I said, with the pandemic, I feel like it's changed the way that yard sales are happening, the way people advertise for them, especially here. And I don't know if let me know if that's in your area too. Facebook Marketplace, I think they've even changed where you can put them, because when we had our yard sale last fall, there's not like a garage sale section anymore. So that's even changed. So it's just not easy to find them. And so for the past couple of years, I really have not gone to them unless I have like happened to find them on the road, signs on the road. And so I'm like, listen, this is crazy. What are people doing? I know they're having yard sales, not as many as they used to, but how are they advertising for them? It's got to be somewhere. And I found this app that I'm going to be sharing soon. They actually reached out to me and asked if I would just try their app, see what I thought about it, give them my feedback. And I'm like, yes, I'm happy to do it. And it was right when yard sales started. And so I'm like, this is a perfect time to try this app because it does all the searching for you. So I am going to be sharing more about that soon. So definitely stay tuned. But it's been a game changer. It is, but you can use it for anything. I just thought yard sales, estate sales, garage sales, those kinds of things you put in your words. And I just thought that was a great way to use it and to test it out, if that makes sense. But you can use it for anything. If you need a dining room table, you can use it for that. So that's been a game changer for yard sales this season for me, for sure. And one more thing, just because you're on live here, the geometry sale, the early access, I think it's through today only. It's done today, the early access. So my link, I've shared it before. DM me if you want the link, but the link will give you the early access to the sale. And it's the biggest sale they have all year round. So I wanted to share that one more time because it's over today, that early access. So get it if you want it. Okay, so I see 2 people said hello, but it looks like I see a lot of names here. So that's why I'm saying I can't tell who's on and who's off. But yeah, so it's been 33 minutes. I think I got on here right at 8. So if this is something you want to keep doing, let me know. I can still put up question boxes and then keep the questions and then answer them every Monday morning. But we'll see. I just thought I'd try it today and see what we thought. One of you said, can we just get on live or just chat with you? That you didn't say live, chat with you or whatever. And this is the best way to do it. So yeah, I'm happy to do it. Okay. If I don't see anybody, if you don't have any other questions, I'm glad I had a ton of these. But hopefully next time you will chit chat more, ask me a question, or just literally it's just a conversation. Nothing fancy, just show up and we can have a chit chat on a Monday morning. Okay. I am going to hop off here if I don't see anything else. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So I hope you guys have a great Monday and a great week. And, let me know if you want to do this again next Monday.